Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
Welcome to New Life Live. So glad that you're with us today. It's Chris Williams, marriage and family therapist. I also have psychologist Dr. Jill Hubbard.
Hello,
Hey,
Chris.
Jill. How you doing?
Good.
Good. And I have another marriage and family therapist, Marc Cameron.
Hi, guys.
How's it going today?
It's going really well. Good to be with you guys.
All right, Marc. So hook us up with some knowledge here, man. What do you have on your mind?
What's on my mind? So today I want to talk about acceptance. So last week I was in New York. I went with my wife and my mom. She's visiting from England.
Fun, Marc.
It was really fun. We went to see the sights. And one of the days I'd pre-bought tickets to go to Liberty Island. Mm-hmm. And so we left probably with maybe just enough time to get there. And I thought, I'm going to take the express train because I'd figured out the subway system by then. Well, we get on the express train and it stops in the middle of the tunnel. Oh. And the driver announces there's a faulty signal up ahead. We've got major delays.
Oh, no.
So the whole time I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking, okay, if we just leave by this time, if it just gets moving by this time, we're going to make it, right? And I'm just staring at the clock for about half an hour. It was so delayed. And, I looked over at my wife and she just had this big smile on her face because she knew we weren't going to make it. Yeah. And I'm holding out hope and I'm feeling anxious. And finally, I just realized, I just had to call it in my mind, we're not going to make it. Right? And once I did, I was able to kind of let something go inside.
Yeah.
Right? And so, there's a saying in recovery, acceptance is the beginning of the answer to all of your problems today. Well, it actually says it's the answer to all your problems today, but I think it's actually the beginning because acceptance doesn't just completely answer all your problems. And so, for me, the sooner I accepted reality, the sooner I was able to recover. Right now, approximately about half of the country tomorrow evening, tomorrow morning, or Wednesday morning are going to have to go through this accepting of reality, right, in being able to recover and accept the election results. But you've also got to accept reality if you're in a broken relationship, right, if you want to learn how to recover. And that's where your healing journey is going to begin. It can't begin if you're in denial. So how do we practice acceptance? So here's 5 simple steps, but they're necessary. So the first one is accept reality. Accept where you are in the present moment. You don't have to like it.
Yes, that's a key point.
Yes.
And you don't have to want to stay there, but you just have to accept, this has happened. This is where I'm at, right? Then let go of the past, right? Don't ruminate on the past outcomes, the disappointments of the what ifs, I was out the money for the 3 tickets, sure, right? But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money, and the Lord's blessed me many, many times over for the value of the tickets. Accept the consequences, right? Take responsibility for your actions rather than blaming others. It wasn't the train driver's fault. It was, the signal just stopped working at that moment. And, in all reality, we could have left earlier. Right? Accept yourself, right? We can all grow by learning to accept our mistakes, right? If we can focus on actions, not personhood, don't beat yourself up. Just because I got it wrong, it doesn't mean that I'm an idiot or I'm a failure. I just got one thing wrong. And then focus on the present. What do you need to do now, right? We were still able to have a good day, right? This just gave us the opportunity to do something else, right? And so I'm just reminded of the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Marc, that is such timely wisdom that I think we need today. Again, facing an election day tomorrow, and like you said, half of the country is going to go through this exercise. Or need to go through this exercise. And I think one of the key factors there is accepting ourselves. Out of those 5, all 5 of them are essential. And when we accept ourselves and face reality, that is the beginning of the change and transformation that we can make in our lives to get to the other side. We were just talking about that earlier. We'd love to talk to you. Give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. We'll be here, a couple shows, and we'll be right back right after this.
I had been in porn addiction. My past had not been found out at all. Yet I had hit a point in my life where it was time.
Men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. The Every Man's Battle Intensive can help.
I never divulged what I'd been doing.
Find help today at New Life's Every Man's Battle Intensive.
This is a place that changed my life in such a positive way for Christ, because I could be the Christian man that I'm called to be.
Now the intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, December 6th through the 8th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
I cannot say enough what it does in the Christian community for not just men, for their children, for their wives.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. As I mentioned right before the break, we're going to be in studio for a couple of programs today, for a couple of hours. We'd love to talk to you. Whatever you're struggling with, give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. We are also streaming on Facebook Live. And if you want to watch us, go to that feed on Facebook Live, New Life Live. Also, if you want to help us out, share it. Share it to your feed. And that way more people can connect with us. We're going right to the lines. We're going to go to Jay in Peoria, Illinois, who listens on WPEO. Jay, how's it going today?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Thank you for asking. How are you guys all doing?
Well, doing good. Love that you called in today, but tell us what's going on.
All right. I'll do my best.
Okay.
This is a stranger than fiction kind of story. My question is, I don't know what to do to help my son. The issue is that he and my daughter-in-law are now homeless. He has bipolar. She is schizophrenic. They are. He is staying right now with a friend who has a subsidized apartment, so that can't last. And she is on the street. And I mean, they've had issues. My son's always had issues. I didn't know what they were when he was growing up. But he has been diagnosed with bipolar years ago, and she is schizophrenic. She is disabled. Oh, it's just a mess.
Oh,
it is
man.
a mess.
That sounds really tough and very complicated.
Yeah, it is extremely complicated. There's just not. You don't have enough time.
Well, for sure, but we want to help as best we can. Has he ever been on medication and been regular with his medication?
Yes, he has.
Okay.
She has not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's up and down with it.
Yeah. So, Jill,
but I fear that I just fear that they're not going to survive the winter.
That's really scary.
I can't bring them into my home.
Yeah.
So they're together, and I'm assuming you haven't mentioned children, so they have no kids?
They don't have any together. They each have children, but they do not have kids together. She hasn't seen hers for a long time.
Okay.
And that's my son.
So neither one of them have custody of their kids. So they're out on the streets together.
Yes. Well, the one that my son is living at this point with a friend.
Okay.
But that's not going to last. It can't last. I mean, he's going to be.
Do you have
evicted
communication, Jay, with your son?
At times.
Okay.
At times, especially when he needs something, when he wants something.
And
but I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we have no resources. I mean, for people with this kind of disability. I've checked. I've called. I have. They've shut down our mental hospital years ago.
Mm-hmm. So there's no county mental health in Illinois?
None that I'm aware of. They have at times taken my daughter-in-law somewhere, like when she would get really bad, neighbors would call and so forth. and they would take her somewhere, regulate her medicine or whatever, and then send her back, and it would be the same thing all over again within a matter of days. So I am not aware of it. I just do not know.
And can you report them as missing, or her at least as a missing person who is mentally ill? So that maybe the authorities would pick her up.
She's also disabled too,
Right,
so I would imagine she qualifies for care, and maybe there's even a social worker assigned to her. She's schizophrenic and she's disabled. Do you know, Jay?
I don't believe there is, and she is on the police radar constantly. Because she gets picked up pretty regular.
But
so
they're
aware of it.
Right, but they don't help her.
So where are you stuck here, Jay? I heard you talking about the holidays, and you don't want to see them homeless, right? But you also don't want to bring them into your house because it sounds like it would be quite chaotic.
Yeah, it would not be safe. That would be the thing. That's what I was hoping, is that maybe you had some suggestions as far as some place I can contact or somebody to help them with this.
Yeah.
I think,
really
earlier,
short of prayer.
Right, Mark, you were talking about acceptance. I think it's so hard as a parent of adult children, and they have their issues, and feeling so powerless to intervene. Because even if you had the perfect place, it would be getting them to go there. So, Jay, I think there's an organization, NAMI, National Alliance of the Mentally Ill. I would check in with them. Some of what you're asking is for resources in your area, and resources that are probably, like we said, run by the county or the state, because there isn't the financial resource there. I would really, go back and research as much as you can, because every state is supposed to have something. And while it might not be of the caliber you would like, it's a starting point. And it takes a lot of kind of footwork and investigating and figuring out and having doors shut, and to keep pursuing. And that is something that you could do. At least find out the resources as best you can. Okay. And you may have been down that path, but things are always changing, new things popping up. So talking to as many people as you can that will lead you to the right place. But start with NAMI, and also they usually offer support groups for family members, and that you would get also information from other family members and what they have tried.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to be the squeaky wheel, because
yes, exactly.
There's these services have budgets, and we know the budget can't go as far as helping everyone else, and so sometimes it's keeping on pursuing, like you're saying, Jill, and you get to the right person, or you're the squeaky wheel long enough that they can't ignore you. I get it though, Jay. It's hard to sit on the sidelines and watch this happen. And so what I would say to you, I'm sure you probably tried many things in the past, but what I would say for you and others who are listening is it's best to learn to come alongside your adult kids rather than going in front of them and clearing the way. Coming alongside looks like you're helping them out as they move. As they move, you move alongside with them, and you partner with them. So if they're getting a job and they're saving up for a down payment for an apartment, maybe you say, well, I'll match you for a down payment of an apartment. So that's what coming alongside could look like. But it's going back to what Jill was saying, what we were talking about. It's the acceptance of the reality of the situation, and then it's going to your own support group, because it's difficult to watch kids struggle.
Well,
people
right,
struggle.
And we have to realize they may choose different standards based on their illness than we would choose. We would never want them to be in this situation. For them, actually, there are people who live on the streets, and they have community out there on the streets, and there are lots of people that choose, even though they could have a warm bed.
Yeah. And these are all really, really difficult and complicated situations, Jay, that quite honestly, that we as a society can fall woefully short on really being able to treat and handle. And so I want you to know that you are in a situation that is as difficult as it feels. But I really like what you were saying, Jill and Mark, about being the squeaky wheel, staying after it. And Jay, the other thing I was thinking about as you were talking is I was picturing your situation in my own mind. I was like, putting your son and his wife together in the same category, I think, is too overwhelming. I think, as Mark, you were pointing to, coming alongside of your son first and really putting the focus on him. It's not to say you don't love your daughter-in-law or want what's best for her, but you also have to understand what you can do within your own limitations.
Right, and she's definitely more severe sounding from
yeah.
what you're describing.
Right, schizophrenia, you lose touch with the reality. He probably has more capacity.
Right,
Yes,
and
yeah.
so if you could even encourage him towards getting back on the medication so
that's
that
exactly
he
what I
could
was
better
thinking.
help his wife, that might be a road to go.
Yeah. And Jay, I just want to also reiterate one of the resources that Jill mentioned, and that's the National Alliance on Mental Illness, because they do provide family support groups for loved ones of people suffering with mental illness.
And
Also-
bipolar is one of the ones that
Absolutely.
they definitely have that for.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing, too, is they may also be able to advocate for you in your local area about resources that could be available that would help your son and potentially his wife. So, Jay, hopefully that's helpful. And with that, we're also going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back. And, and that's, again, Take Your Life Back is really a great resource for us to be able to, in the midst of all the chaos and challenges around us, to care for ourselves in the midst of us trying to care for other people. So, Jay, thank you so much for calling in today. We would love to talk to you. Give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. We're going to go right back to the phone. We're going to go to Linda in Rockford, Illinois, who connects with us through our app. Linda, how's it going today?
I am doing well, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. Tell us what's going on and how we can help you.
So I have a concern for a friend. She's 76 years old. She got involved with a single mom who had 3 children through a ministry. I'll just leave it at that. And it helped this woman a lot. The woman became pregnant with a 4th child. And my friend, I'll call her Ellen, she was financially supporting the mom and, doing a lot for her, paying her rent. And the apartment situation wasn't good for the mom and the kids. She didn't feel safe there. So my friend Ellen invited them to come and live in their home, in her home. And that was 2 years ago. It started out okay. And now, like, when I go visit the home, it's chaos. It's a lot of things are broken. Nice furniture has no more spring to it, and it's a mess. And it's gotten to the point now where they don't speak to Ellen anymore, and she is not welcome in her own home. Like yesterday, I talked to her and I said, "Did they go trick or treating?" And she said, "Yeah, I just happened to see them in their costumes. They wouldn't come to me, they just act like she's not there." And then
So Linda, let me jump in with a couple of questions here. So does Ellen have any other family members around?
She does. Yes, she has a couple of sisters. And she is sound-minded. I'll just say that she is not. She sounds like a very vulnerable person, but she.
But my question is does she have sons, daughters, siblings?
She does not.
Because I'm like, is anyone coming to her defense and helping her work through this?
I would be that person.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like a daughter looking on at her and going, "This is so frustrating." Because anyway, other questions?
Is she willing to ask them to leave?
Well, here's the thing. She was helping the mom get her college degree. And the mom had one more semester to go. And then Ellen said, okay, when you get your degree, you'll be able to support yourself, and then I would like you to move out. And the mom told her, oh, the university contacted me. All my classes have been canceled. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that is a complete lie.
Yes.
I know the university, anyways, that was the story. And so now she's not taking her classes, and there's no end in sight.
Yes, for sure. So, yeah, we know that this is a really, really tough situation. And so, Linda, you hear the music. We're going to head to a break here. But when we get back, we're going to help tackle this with you, because this is a tough one. And, yeah. So hold on. And if you're listening, you would like to talk to us today, you got something you're struggling with, give us a call, 1-800-229-3000, and we'll be back right after this.
When you give to the New Life Scholarship Fund, you're giving someone hope for a brighter future.
I was kind of in the closet and hid with my struggle. Your donation really made the difference, especially in my situation, because I would have getting laid off from my job.
At the New Life Intensives, hurting people are able to begin a new path towards healing and freedom that has an effect on all of those around them.
I think the people who support New Life financially are people that I'll never know. I'll never be able to thank them personally for the gift that they gave to us. Their giving saved me, my husband, and our family from being torn apart.
To help hurting people to connect to the help they need, make your gift to the Scholarship Fund at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE and specifying scholarships.
Someone called and sponsored me to come this weekend. Whoever that is, just know that you saved a life. Literally, you saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for over 34 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for your life and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow. Call 1-800-639-5433.
We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. So glad that you're with us today. We're talking with Linda, who has a friend in a really, really difficult situation. 76-year-old woman brought a single mom and kids into her own home, and now is getting rejected in her own home.
It's so kind of her to want to help this young mom out with all these kids, but so often these situations do go awry.
Yes, and it sounds like this young mom is not
milking this and completely taking advantage
but
of
potentially
the friend.
even dangerous in the sense that kicking this woman out of her own house, not allowing her to be welcome. So,
how long's this been going on, Linda?
Well, the living situation has been 2 years, but she was supporting the woman before that.
Right.
She was paying her apartment rent before that.
Yeah. Yeah, so this has become a really unhealthy situation. I mean, even if this was her, she wasn't just helping out a friend, even if this was her daughter, this would be a really unhealthy situation. It's almost, I hate to use this analogy, but kind of like a parasite situation where somebody's come in and then they've, a parasite takes over the host, and she's hosting this family and now they're taking over the household. And if they're not speaking to her, it's, one thing that kids...
Anything that she would have gotten out of it, right?
Right.
Like
yeah,
a sense of family and grandkids.
And that's probably what she was getting out of it, was that. But it's become really, really unhealthy. Can your friend, I know you called it Ellen, can she see this when you have conversations with her and you reflect this back to her? What does she say?
Well, I said, this makes me so sad. Yesterday I said, this makes me so sad. She said, yes, I've let it go, and the Lord tells me he's taking care of it. And she is a godly woman.
So she's spiritualizing it. Yeah. So we were talking earlier about coming alongside versus clearing the way for someone. And when we're helping people, we want to be able to empower them. We don't want to be able to enable them
or create dependency.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And so this is what's happening. It's not only is this not a healthy situation for Linda, but I'm sorry, for your friend Ellen, but this is not a healthy situation for this lady, because now she's taking advantage of Ellen, and she's not pursuing her, educating herself, and what's the modeling for her kids that are happening here. So I think she's actually I understand that she's actually waiting for Ellen to buy her a home. That's what she wants.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, have you confronted this woman who's living with Ellen?
Well, and that's what I'm thinking about doing, but I would want to do it well. And I do have I have a little bit of relationship with this woman, not much, but we have each other's phone number. She has reached out to ask me for help with different things, knowing what my knowledge is on things.
Yeah, my suggestion would be I would get your friend Ellen's consent before doing that, and maybe you can do that together. Maybe you can talk about a timeline. That's what I would generally go to. What's a reasonable timeline that your friend Ellen can give, and that you can help support Ellen in to help empower her so that she can move out and support her kids and empower herself to have her own life.
But that's kind of what was set up,
so
in the beginning.
Yeah, but with this
and then
though,
you dumped the whole thing.
Right. And is the woman working? Is the mom working?
She does work.
How does she? Yeah, and how does she pay for anything?
Well, again, Ellen is.
See, Ellen. Yeah.
So let me jump in here, Linda.
So
but here's the key: is that agreements have endings, right? And those endings have decisions, and those decisions have consequences. And so the agreements that had an ending really didn't have a decision or a consequence. So they're really not agreements at all. So what this woman has learned is not what we say, what Ellen says, but what Ellen does. So it doesn't matter what Ellen says anymore. It absolutely matters what Ellen does. And so if Ellen waits for this woman to get on her feet and get out, she will be waiting the rest of her life. That's not going to happen. Ellen is in a tough situation where she now needs to make the decision and have the teeth of the consequences and the strength of the consequences for this woman to deal with.
Right. Ellen has to come from the place of realizing, and maybe even saying to the woman, I realize that I'm no longer really helping you.
Yes.
We had this agreement, and now, because that's fallen apart, there is no end in sight. And I think that I am keeping you from really stepping out on your own.
Yes.
And so I am going to begin to gradually withdraw support that I'm giving you, because I realize it's not helping you to move forward.
There's one other thing. If this woman does not follow through and is seen as potentially taking money, this could potentially be an elder abuse case, which you can get the county involved with. Okay, so you want to you
talk about fiduciary abuse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I love all your thoughts. I hear the music. I'll just say this. I don't know that Ellen would agree with me. Again, the spiritualizing it.
Yes.
Well, she's making it okay.
So
we got
a hedge of white, but Linda, in all of that, it's got to be put back in Ellen's hands. And you need to support Ellen in doing that. We're actually going to send you a copy of the book Trust, because that's going to really show you a lot more what's going on. We'll be right back.
5 years ago, I had been in porn addiction, and I'd had a sexual relationship out of marriage.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity, impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography. Find help today at New Life's Every Man's Battle Intensive.
That was the first time I'd ever divulged the sin that I had.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
I found a confidential comfort that was able to put a flame to a start of a healing process.
Now the intensive is coming to Dallas, Texas, December 6th through the 8th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50.
Thank you, New Life. They're the redeemed, man. Thank you.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We are so glad that you're with us today. There are amazing partners that we have out there, people who are part of Club New Life, and they financially contribute and support our ministry on a monthly basis. And there is a members-only benefit event that is coming up. It's our quarterly Zoom gatherings, and I'll actually be speaking and doing a Q&A this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about the dynamics in our life of scarcity versus abundance, and what does scarcity mentality do to us, and what does abundance mentality do to us, and really, what does God have to do with either one of those? And we'll talk a lot more about that, and especially going into the holidays, I'd love to hang out with you Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. If you want to join Club New Life, then go to clubnewlife.com, and you can both register to the Zoom session. You can also join Club New Life. We would love for you to be a part of that group and a part of those partners in our lives so we can keep doing what we do. We're going to go right back to the phones. We are going to Sue in Atlanta, Georgia. Sue, who is connecting with us through SiriusXM. Sue, how's it going today?
It's going okay.
All right. Well, that doesn't sound great. So tell us what's going on and how we can help you.
Okay. Well, I've been married for a long time, and my husband had stepped out about 11 years ago. I found out he was having an affair, and we got through that, but it hasn't been great since. I think my children were young then, and we kind of stayed in it just for, maybe not the right reasons, but anyways, since then, it's just not been a great, time. But I found out, recently that he's, been looking at, only us fan, I guess you would say porn. But I don't have any proof that, he stepped out of her. relationship again. And I'm just like, I don't know, do you handle that as him stepping out, or is that just him looking for things that I wasn't giving him because we were in a bad place? Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to handle this, to be honest.
Yeah, well, first off, I am so sorry that you're experiencing this. Sue, just a quick question. After the affair was discovered, did you and your husband do any work on the marriage, any couples counseling, any recovery work?
No.
Okay.
I went to counseling one time. He never sought counseling and never, no. We tried to work it out. I mean, we try to do it through just going to church, being, and praying about it and trying to do it that way.
Yeah. Jill, what do you think?
So Sue, it was just the impact of being caught, and so then you guys came back together, and I'm so sorry because without the work, things aren't great, and the problem may get buried for a while, but doesn't necessarily go away. And so you're seeing now with this maybe looking on websites as that resurfacing. And so I think, Sue, it is time to address it, because even if it's just a minor signal, you want to catch it before it comes into full bloom. Because if it continues, he may be right back where he was before. And so really, like you said, nothing's been resolved in your marriage. You guys just figured out how to move along and get along. And so now it's time to address it. And I think to let him know that, we did our best between the two of us, but the two of you don't really have all of the answers, nor the expertise to help you through this. So sometimes you've done all that you know, but there's more to do that could be helpful. And it's never too late to try to have a better relationship.
Absolutely. Why
resign yourselves to just mediocre or not great? And so let's take this as a warning sign that I don't think you have to, accuse him. Just say, this is a warning sign that things aren't okay and that we should have addressed this a long time ago. I would think every man's battle would be great for him.
Absolutely. And even to go back to address, why is he doing this? And Sue, you're almost making his excuses for him. Like, is there some deficiency in the marriage of why he's visiting these illicit websites? I'm like, listen, porn is never a good solution to a marital problem.
Right.
It doesn't operate that way.
Right. And it creates the marital deficiencies.
And say, is it stepping out? Well, it's definitely not stepping into the marriage.
Right.
Right. And it is a form and it is a form of infidelity.
Yeah, I would consider OnlyFans a betrayal. If you're finding that on his credit card receipts, people use OnlyFans now. It's basically a way that, individuals can create their own porn website and receive all the money is what OnlyFans is, and that's what people use them for. And so if you're seeing that on his receipts, it's like Chris is saying, well, why is he going to that website? I would consider that a betrayal. And if you didn't do the recovery work, then you're still back, living it in this betrayal mindset here. Now there's internal motivation and there's external motivations. Those are the two motivations that we have, Sue. And so internal motivation is when there's something inside us that says, hey, I want this to be different. I want this to change. You clearly have that. He doesn't sound like he has that. And so when we have a lack of internal motivation, we need external motivation to cause us to move. Now, when somebody shows up in my office and they tell me these heartbreaking stories, one of the first questions I ask them is, what boundaries are you willing to hold? Right? Because that's really where if any recovery is going to happen is where it's going to start, because that's going to be the beginning of external motivation. And I think that's a question that you're going to have to ask yourself here is, what am I willing to do? Because quote unquote getting through it, going to church, praying about it, that hasn't worked for you.
Well, good things. Yeah, it hasn't worked. So what are you willing to tolerate or not tolerate, Sue? That's really the question. What's okay with you and what isn't okay with you? And when you make excuses for him, you're saying it's okay.
Right. Well, and that's been it's hard. That's been my biggest thing is making that, because, we've been together for 28 years, and it's just so hard to draw that line, and that's it. I'm, done, and just because it's the familiarity is there,
Right, and it means a change of lifestyle and all of that. I don't think we're suggesting you say we're done, but I think that's what your fear is, that if you call him out on anything or require anything of him, that he will walk away.
Well, I don't. He doesn't want to walk away. I've actually told him to leave, and he doesn't want to leave, and he promised, but he makes all these promises. But then at the end, 6 months later, we're right back to where we were.
Right. So I think that's a good thing that he doesn't want to walk away, because obviously he's receiving some benefit from this. But yeah, I think you are going to have to make a decision here, because doing another 28 years like this is not going to be the solution. It's not going to make you any happier. It's not going to make you any healthier. And if it wasn't hard, Sue, you would have done it already. That's the whole point here of why it's, people stay in these relationships, stay in these situations for so long, because it is really hard. It's going to take an act of courage for you to do this. You're going to need someone behind you to cheer you on, to empower you. So my suggestion for you is find a therapist and we can hook you up with that. We can help you find a therapist who is skilled and knowledgeable in betrayal recovery to help them encourage you, empower you, and cheer you on and come alongside you. And what I want to tell you is that it is hard, but you can do hard things, Sue. And that's how you're going to grow. And you'll feel healthier afterwards. You'll be healthier, and you'll be glad you did it.
Well, and he may even mean his promises in the moment, but he's proven to you that he can't follow through on his promises. And I would even maybe say that to him. I believe you're sincere. I just don't know that you're capable of following through without help, because that's been the history.
And this is just the facts of if this is a pattern over a lifetime, you're not going to stop it because you're scared or you made a decision.
Right. You're just going to get sneakier.
It needs really, really intensive help. And that's where I would really demand that he goes to every man's battle. And even as you're going through this process, Sue, it's you getting clear with yourself on here's the things I can no longer tolerate because of the impact that they're having on me. And we're gonna send you Dr. Sherry's book, Intimate Deception, Healing the Wounds of Sexual Betrayal, because it really helps expose the impact of betrayal trauma on the betrayed partner, as well as give an understanding of what's going on into the sexually acting out partner as well. And so, Sue, we want to cheer you on, and again, seek out counsel for this. And we're going to have Restore in 2025 coming up as well.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, And y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back. So glad that you are with us today. We were just talking on the break, and I was reminded of a great Dr. Jillism. And that is do it afraid.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
just because we're adults doesn't mean we aren't afraid.
Yeah,
but you have to do it anyway.
Yeah, because I love, as you were mentioning how Marc was just encouraging her, you can do hard things, and I think that's something that Sue needed to hear, and we all need to hear.
That's the definition of courage and bravery. It's not courage or bravery if there's no fear.
Yes.
Right?
That's so true.
The fear is
it's
part
easy
of it.
then.
Right. It's doing the hard thing. And facing it. And that's how we grow. We're going to grow under tension.
Absolutely.
True.
If you have a hard or difficult or scary thing going on in your life today, give us a call. We're going to be in studio for the remainder of this show, another one coming up. We have open lines, 1-800-229-3000. Again, we'd love to talk to you. And with that, we have also the write-in options of our questions. So let me get to that. I'm going to... You can go to newlife.com/radio if you want to submit one of those. And we have one right now. We have one from Delaney, who asked this question: what is my role as a mother whose child has no contact without any explanation? She says, I'm still sending gifts for birthday, Christmas, etc., but zero responses. It is painful, and my cup has run dry trying to make sense of what feels like a betrayal. Please help me understand my role during this painful time. I am in counseling. I'm going through Jim Burns' book, Doing Life with Adult Children, but it doesn't quite apply to my situation. But she says, I do highly recommend the book. But she's just in this another estranged situation.
Yeah, estrangement is so painful and so difficult. And Delaney, our heart goes out to you. Good for you that you're letting your adult children know or child know that you're still there and you're sending the gifts. It's really hard when you get nothing back. And while the gifts are nice and good, the silence is saying we don't want contact.
Yeah.
I wonder if you've reached out, though, in the form of a letter. Because I think it's important to put words to those actions as well, and to let the person, your child, know that you are here, that you are wanting relationship, that you're getting the message that they are not, and you are trying to understand that. And while respecting that they need distance, you also would like the opportunity to work on what has gone wrong in the relationship, and that you would highly value being able to know some things that have not gone well for them, and that you could work on.
Yeah.
And that you would love the opportunity to repair at some point, and that you realize you have areas to grow as well.
Yeah, I think that's really good.
Yeah, I wish we had Delaney to ask some questions to, because I wonder if we could help her, get a little bit of insight as to what may have gone wrong. But when you've tried everything, what you're saying, Jill, is that's the only thing really that's available to us, is to write that letter and to be humble about it. Don't talk about your hurts in there. Hopefully you'll get a chance to talk about your hurts, but it's not up front. It's not right now. It's the letter really is learning just to invite and saying, hey, I love you. I want to be in a relationship with you. If I've done something to hurt you, I want to be able to acknowledge that and repair that. And I'd love to have the opportunity to hear you out. And that's what the letter is.
And I'm willing to not defend myself.
Correct.
I just want to hear your position.
Right. And that makes it safe for them to consider. And sometimes you might not get something back right away, but it may take a little bit of time to sink in. And if Delaney's son is married, maybe it's even reaching out to his spouse, his wife.
Yeah, and I'm thinking two things. One, to reiterate the letter writing, because it provides them a living artifact.
Yes.
Beyond just a conversation that you can forget or construe. You know, and so I think the other aspect of that for Delaney is that if you're sending gifts, oftentimes we can send gifts to stay in hopes that they'll reach out to us. And I think keep sending gifts, but change the intention. The intention is for you, Delaney, to say that I'm doing this because I still love you and I'm working through this painful experience and staying in prayer, and hopefully, and I would say this, we all have a comfort magnet inside of us seeking safety, and our parents are usually the primary source of that early on in life, but there's something about that throughout our life that we pray for this in the long game that eventually they'll come back around. So we hold out hope for that, but in the current situation, what is your role is to love them well, but I would definitely go with that letter writing.
And then if you get no response, wait a while, wait at least 6 weeks to 2 months, and then maybe reach out again. I had sent a letter. I don't know if you received it. I'm looking for an opportunity to learn and grow.
And then sometimes it could also be finding a neutral third party to help you with that, because your son, Delaney, may feel more comfortable communicating something to the neutral third party that could go back to you, and that could give you a clue as to how receptive he is, or what has happened.
Is there another family member that he is in contact with?
Yeah, maybe a sibling, maybe an aunt or an uncle, someone.
This just reminds me of how important communication and conversation is. Words matter, and we see that God has given us language for a reason and utilized language throughout time. And because one of the things that we tend to do is that when people give us the ghost response, I like to say it like this: they're giving us blank sheets of paper to write really bad stories on.
Yes.
Yeah. And usually that is the experience when we don't hear back from them. When it goes radio silent, we take out our pen inside of our head, and then we just start writing out terrible stories about ourselves, terrible stories about the other person. And we've broken off communication and broken trust with that. And so, again, a huge reminder that it's important to engage in critical conversations and to communicate, especially with those that we do life closely with.
Yeah, we've had a lot of calls today that have been difficult ones. They're not easy answers, and there's potentials with them where they don't resolve. And when that happens, we're challenged within ourselves to go back to, how do I accept this situation, and what can I do to grow from this situation where things are out of my control?
Back to your serenity prayer, right? Looking at where
I wish
we
it was
have
mine,
control.
but yeah.
I mean, not yours.
No, I know what you mean.
that you mentioned.
Well, I would encourage anyone to check out the full length of that Serenity Prayer. The author, Reinhold Niebuhr, was a great theologian, and it was always ironic to me that he just wrote tons and tons of great theological work, and this is what he's known for. Prayer in there is the one that has stuck out. But wow, in that
but it's a fantastic prayer. It's
fantastic, and it is the reminder that in the midst of intolerable or painful or challenging situations, that the first move of grace is acceptance. And that we invite God into those experiences, that Christ with us as we're going into the holiday season is the reminder of that. Jesus pointed his nose straight at reality and went right into the most difficult places in it. And he can do that in our lives as well. And so, again, accepting that reality, inviting God into it, and allowing him to partner with us as we move forward is so essential. Yeah. So we want to thank you all for being with us today. If you are waiting online, please, stay with us. We're going to do another show right after this. If you want to give us a call, again, we're going to be in studio for another show coming right after this. Give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. And as we had talked to Sue earlier, if you are struggling with sexual acting out, we have Every Man's Battle coming up in December on December 6th in Dallas. Please sign up for that today. Thank you all for being with us today, and until next time, be well.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.